actually, what we did last night with viewing how our own anger arises, we see. When we got angry, how was it? Right? How much in control of our minds were we? Right? So then the same thing with the other person who gets angry and then harms us, So we should actually know that this is what empathy and compassion comes from, right? Like, we know from our own minds and our own experience, when we get angry, we do all this kind of stuff. So what do we expect from other people? Okay? So again, like in the Christians have this saying, right? Like, hate the sin, love the sinner. Hate the sin, love the sinner. Okay? So actually, the person doing it, since they're impelled by their own negative emotions, and therefore they harmed us, well, it's actually because they're under control of those negative emotions, right? So we shouldn't be angry at them, but rather see how their actions were in turn impelled by those afflictions, and therefore wish that they're free from them. Okay? So here there's an analogy given by another Indian master, Aryadeva, who we have the tanka of somewhere. But he says in the 400 stanzas, just as a doctor does not fight, but helps patients who are possessed by spirits, though they get angry, so the sage sees that the afflictions are at fault, not the persons who have the afflictions. Yeah? And then Chandrakirti says in the Madhyamika Avatara, this is not living beings' fault, rather it is the fault of the afflictions. So the learned analyze and do not fight with others. Okay? So how's that? How does that work for your minds? Yeah? I think it's the easiest one to gain certainty about, because we know from our own experience when we get angry that we kind of lose control. That's why they say, like, especially our English people here, yeah, like in like the word mad, are you mad? It's like crazy, right? But in American English we use mad for angry, right? Yeah? Are you mad at me? Right? But like, it's very interesting, right? Like this mad is like crazy and has like also a connotation of angry. It's like a little bit mixed, right? So actually when we get angry, it is like we're crazy, right? So our normal conception of like, crime and punishment is coming from a standpoint of this person, had control and they chose to do these things, therefore we incarcerated them. Whereas if someone, the temporary insanity defense, it gets them not in a prison, they might have to go to a mental hospital, right? So even in the world, we distinguish between these two things, right? But what Shantideva is saying is, actually, anyone, we're all crazy. Anyone who is angry, is crazy. This is the sort of view of reality. It's a complete hallucination of reality at that time, right? Now, this is not to then justify, right? But this is just, these techniques, remember, is primarily to prevent ourselves from getting angry at the other person, okay? Right? Now, let's just not go too far and therefore say, okay, well then all these, murderers and rapists and so forth, yeah, let's, just give them a chai and a pat on the back and let them go free, It's not necessarily like that. But the point is, even this is my opinion, even the concept of incarceration, incarcerating prisoners, putting them into prison. Incarceration, you know this. Anyway, like, if someone is posing a threat to society because they have a strong afflictions in their minds and therefore they're habituated to doing this kind of harm, then putting them in a type of prison to prevent them harming the people in the society is one thing. But what happens to creep into our criminal justice system is we have to punish them. We have to punish them for doing what they've done, rather than a thought of we need to help and reform them, you know. And as we were saying last night, since all of these negative thoughts are coming from disordered ways of thinking, they're not intrinsically part of the mind. So actually, even these hardened criminals, there is potential for them to change, you know. And especially, there's a lot of studies done on this because, well, the U.S. criminal justice system is like completely busted. But especially in like juvenile offenders, you know, there's I forgot where it was, somewhere in a very unexpected place in the U.S. I want to say like Kentucky or some place like this. They just did it entirely. Like normally the juvenile detention centers are just like the regular prisons, right? With like, you know, no education, and you know, it's like, anyway. But there was one place, I think in Kentucky, where they emphasize a lot on like giving these juveniles tools to like work with their minds, and then their level of, once they're let out, then getting rearrested was like several standard deviations away from the mean than the rest of the prisoners around the country. Anyway, that's another topic. But the overall point, just remember, right? Hate the sin, love the sinner, right? So thinking in this way can help us see that our anger is unjustified, okay? So, and then let's look here at what Shantideva has to say, okay? So, stanzas. 31. Oh, hold on 1 second. Okay. Is that right?
Like 24.
Yeah, nice. Okay. 24. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, okay, maybe 23. We'll start with 23. Although not wished for, these sicknesses arise. Likewise, although they are not wished for, these disturbing conceptions forcibly arise. Without thinking I shall be angry, people become angry with no resistance. Likewise, without thinking I shall produce myself, likewise anger is produced. All mistakes that are, and all the various kinds of evil arise through the force of conditions. They do not govern themselves. Okay? These conditions that assemble together have no intention to produce anything, and neither does their product have the intention to be produced. Okay, the next few stanzas are talking about a non-Buddhist school. So let's skip over those. Yeah, so then 31. Hence, everything is governed by other factors, which are in turn governed by others. In this way, nothing governs itself. Having understood this, I shall not become angry with phenomena that are like apparitions. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, now, same thing, 34, yeah? If things were brought into being by choice, then since no one wishes to suffer, suffering would not occur to any embodied creature. Through not being careful, people even harm themselves with thorns and other things, and for the sake of obtaining women and the like, they become obsessed and deprive themselves for food. There are some who injure themselves through unmeritorious deeds of hanging themselves, leaping from cliffs, eating poison and unhealthy foods. If, when under the influence of disturbing conceptions, people will even kill their treasured selves, how can they be expected not to cause harm to the bodies of other living beings? Okay? So, that last stanza is most effective for my mind, right? So we know, right? When people get angry, they'll jump off of cliffs, they'll kill themselves, they'll harm themselves. So of course they'll harm other beings, right? Right? So here, you know, this whole thought of anger arising due to different causes and conditions coming together is very important to keep in mind. Because normally when we think about a situation where someone has harmed us, you know, as I was saying, this thought of the other person 100% bad and we are, you know, totally blameless, you know, but we very much kind of ignore the fact that various things have to come together for the anger to take place, you know. Yeah, maybe I'll say this now, because this is coming to your question, right? Like, when someone insults us, okay? Okay, let me give you an example. This is my story. Some people probably heard this last time, but it's one of my favorite stories. And it's very educational for me. I hope it's educational for you. Okay, anyway, I'll tell a few stories and then I think we have a tea break. Okay, so just hold in tight. Okay? When I was a senior in college, I went to Italy, okay? And in Milano, there's a town plaza, yeah, like by the Duomo. And then in that place, there's all these pigeons, yeah? And then there are these people there that put kernels of corn on your body, and then the pigeons come and rest on you and they eat the corn, and then like you can do some pose like this, and then the pigeons come, and then you get your picture taken with them, and then it's like really cool, right? Okay. Don't talk to me about all the diseases that pigeons carry, okay? It looks cool. All right. So then these people in the square, they do that, they take your picture, and then they want money, okay? All right. So, okay, I'm there with a friend. This guy, he gives whatever, 20 kernels of corn. Okay, how much is that gonna cost? Yeah? Okay, thank you for taking the picture. So I give him, you know, some change. And in Europe, like, coins are worth a lot of money, you know? It's like, so I give him like quite a few coins, probably like €5 maybe, or, you know, several euros, just the coins. Thank you. Yeah? Not happy at all. And apparently he wanted like money that folds, right? Not money that jingles. So he then starts berating me, right? Really yelling. And maybe this is one of their like techniques to then, okay, he's yelling, okay, I'll give him more. Anyway, he's doing this. My friend actually gives him some more money, but he doesn't give up because my friend gives him a few more coins. She's like, all right, okay. So he's yelling at me, he's getting into my face. But then, you know, the thing is, he's berating me in Italian, which is a language I don't speak, right? So I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying. So I find it actually a bit comical. And then I start laughing, which again makes him more angry, you know? But it's like this, right? So for us to get angry, okay, it's not just the words. That's what we think, right? Oh yeah, he said that to me. And it's like it appears that those words somehow, it's like a bullet or an arrow that somehow like hurts us from out there, you know? But actually, we have a role to play in it. At the very least, we need to understand the words that the person's saying to us, right? Okay, so what I'm saying is, the causes, different causes and conditions, when we see it as being 100% bad from the side of the person, the perpetrator, it's actually a distortion of reality. We think, oh, we had nothing to do with it, but we do. Okay, then not only that, but we have to understand the words, and then we have to think that the words are somehow hitting us. There's this analogy of, you know, the arrow hitting the target, yeah? Okay, so here again, let's just say, okay, I'm not gonna pick on you, you again, sorry, what's your name?
Jeevan.
Jeevan. Okay, Jeevan, what kind of insult don't you like to be called?
Somebody blame me,
Yeah.
which I have not did.
Okay, all right. So Jeevan, you know, let's see. When I woke up this morning, then okay, anyway. Yeah, the kitchen was messy. Yeah. So why did you mess up the kitchen this morning?
I was not there.
Whoa. Okay, anyway, so let's say I blame him for messing up the kitchen, right? Automatically it's like, okay, anyway. Or, you know, okay. So I blame you, okay, anyway. So I say this, right? So those words, like, I blame you for messing up the kitchen, okay? Then automatically you're like, whoa, I wasn't there, right? Okay. Now, the rest of you in the room all heard those same words. I blame you. I blame you, right? But only that you, right? You just heard the word you, but it didn't hit you, right? If it didn't hit you, then there's no way, there goes my pen, for it to harm you, right? Only Jeevan, no problem. Yay. Only Jeevan, maximum, only Jeevan would have gotten upset at that, right? That's another thing, okay? Third, even if it's harming us, or sorry, even if we identify it as referring to us, we have to then also have a problem with what those words are trying to say about us, okay? So here's another example. I don't know, you saw maybe in Korea some years ago, in the parliament, a fight broke out, yeah? Why? Because someone insulted another parliament member saying his mustache was thin. Yeah. You know, your mustache is too thin. Okay? You know what I mean, right? Patchy. Okay? Now, I'm half Filipino, by the way. Very hairless. My mustache is extremely thin. Yeah, and I have only 17 whiskers. Here, okay? Nothing here, okay? Anyway, so someone says, hey, Namjong, your mustache is thin. Like, yes, you're right. You know? This Korean, right, for them, it's like this thing, like, you know, I think maybe in India too. It's I heard in Rajasthan, it's a big thing, you know, this mustache and you curl it like this and, you know, it's like, your honor is at stake if someone criticizes your mustache. You know, and then you get out the store and you can have a duel with people, right? So for some people, yeah, you have a thin mustache, it's a matter of life and death. I'm gonna now, you know, challenge you to a duel, sir. Right? But for me, you're right. My mustache is thin. Yeah, right? So you have to then also care that thing like matters to you, right? Also, so I have a lot of freckles, right? So someone I met, they're like, you have so many freckles. Yeah. They're trying to insult me. I'm like, yeah, I do. You should see my mother. She has even more than me. Right? Or like, I don't know. So many things, right? Some of my classmates at the monastery, there's some people who are bald. Okay, good. But anyway. Then even some of my classmates, they're like in their 30s, yeah? Then like they call each other like, yeah, hey, baldy, right? And so I also, even if I were bald and someone called me that, I'd be like, no problem, I'm a monk, I have to shave my head anyway. It's less work if I'm bald, right? Right? So what am I saying, right? Just seeing how when we get angry, all these different factors have to come together. And some of those factors are in our camp, right? What do you say? We have to understand, we have to think that it refers to us, and we have to care about what they say, right? So, since some of those things are in our camp, right, we can't then put 100% blame on the other person. There's one Karamba Geshe Sharawa, I think, you know? And he made this very, very nice statement. He's like, you know, practitioners of before, like, he said, like, these 3 practitioners, whatever words they heard, you know, whatever insults they heard, it was just like talking to rocks, you know? But now people are so thin-skinned that they get offended by even like the slightest provocation, and that's why there's so much unhappiness in the world today. Yeah?
Very true.
Yeah. So it's like, so can we do this, you know? How much? You have a thin mustache? Yes, you're right. Then the problem is done. This is what we're saying, right? With the leather covering the earth. We can't stop people from insulting our thin mustaches. But we can do something that we care less about what other people say about our mustaches. Okay? That's the essence of what we're saying. Okay, now you girls just think of your own example, right? Whatever it is, I mean, oh gosh. What could be an example for you? Oh yeah, this whole thing. Fair and lovely. You know?
Oh, just having a mustache, right? Oh, you have a mustache, you're good.
Yeah, okay. But you know, it's like, yeah, these conceptions of beauty, you know, well, it has to be fair and lovely. How many millions of rupees are paid out to make our skin fair? Last time I went to the US, like my brother, he lives in like northern Washington states, like close to the Canadian border. I visited him in February. He's darker than me. I live in South India. He's getting these like skin injections to make his skin dark. Yeah. Okay, he's a bodybuilder kind of guy, you know? Yeah, we're very different. You know? So then like apparently, I don't know, it makes your muscles look more like defined or something if you have dark skin. So anyway, in the middle of winter, like he's injecting himself with all this stuff. He's like looking so dark. I'm like, what the heck? Then here, you know, people do the opposite. They bleach their skin, you know? So it's totally like, you know, no inherent beauty in either the fair skin or the dark skin. Yet, it's always like, you know, the grass is always greener. The people who have fair skin, they want the bit darker skin. The people who have dark skin, they want the... Doesn't matter, right? Okay, so tea time? Okay, but you got what I'm saying, right? This is the point. We have to use our analytic wisdom to see how these situations that would cause us to be angry, how they arise, you know? And see how we also play a role in it. Okay? All right, so now let's have a short break.